Well, today I parged or plastered a block foundation. I didn't do the block work. They just asked me to do the outside. I thought I'd make a good video, so here we go. Well, today I'm going to plaster this foundation. And I didn't do the block work because I'm too old and I can't pick up these things anymore. But I thought I'd make a good video. So we're going to plaster the whole thing. I'm going to show you how we do it. So I'm going to mix the cement, and here's the ingredients: 1, 2, 3, and a little more than a half. And we're going to use 1 bag of type S mortar. That means it has Portland in it. Usually you go 2 to 1. This will fill up 2 5-gallon buckets. So we got 1, 2, 3 and a half. So it's a little less because I'm doing this stucco. I want just a little bit stronger. The first thing I'm going to do is wet this wall really good. That's going to give me time, and it's going to make it stick a lot better. So that's the first thing I do, is I wet the wall. First thing you do, scrape everything off. We're going to talk about why do we wet it first. Well, when we wet it, it sticks better for one reason, and it gives you time. It gives you time to do what you want to do. So you get up here, we're putting the first coat on. Now they want the coat on the bottom so that a lot of rocks in the cement, see it? Or in this sand. They want it on the bottom so they could tar this with a foundation coating. So I got my top in, and we're going to scratch it. Now, the reason we're scratching it is another coat of plaster has to go over this. And as I bring it down, I'll scratch it to where I think that the level of the ground's going to be. And then if they have to go a little higher with the foundation coating or they don't, it's all going to work out. So you can see it, the ground level is right about here. So I'm going to scratch it right down to there. So that's where I'm going to scratch, is right to there. And this, I'm going to let this set up a little bit and then come back with the brush and give it a light brushing. Now we're moving along. There's a lot of rocks in here. We're going to let this sit and then go over it and then brush it. So when we get down in here, see the footer steps up. So we're going to put a cold on there. Just like that. And that way, when the water comes, the water's going to come down and over the top of the cove. So that's what we're going to do there. Just like that. And we're moving along and he's wetting it good. See, concrete blocks, they suck in the water. And that's going to keep this wall moist. The longer the cement stays wet, the better it is anyway. Now let's look. This mason was a good mason. He didn't leave many holes. You see little holes here and there. That's natural for a guy to do that. Mason was pretty good. So when we plaster this, it fills all those holes in. That's what we want. This is set up a little bit, so I'd like to get some water. Just go over the top of it. If there's any holes, I'll fill them in, you see? You get a soft brush, you do a good job. That way when the guy's tarring it, it's easy for him to tar it, and there's no holes. Just kind of fills all the holes in. See any rocks, you get them out. Makes a nicer job. It's like you care. Got to care a little bit. And then we go right over the top of our cove. See that? So we do a nice job. Okay, let's look what's going on with the wall. I've been brushing it on the bottom because when you brush it, it gets rid of all those little spots where, you know, the water could get in. So we're over here. You see, if I just left it this way, you get all these little spots. I don't want them, so I brush it. And that fills all those spots in, see it? And it's so much more of a nicer job by me doing that. So here's what we did today. This wall is 53 feet and this wall is 45 feet. Came over here and I put this cove in, you know, before the end of the day. Mike, why did you put the cove in? Because this has a tendency to shrink and crack up. So if I put it in now and tomorrow when I come over and plaster it, the cove will be done. I'll just wash it off, and if there's any cracks, that's going to hide them. Well, we're back the next day, and it's starting to dry up. You can see it changing colors here. It's good hard cement. And right down here we have our cove. Now it was raining yesterday, and it was wet, and I don't see any cracks. But if it's a real dry day, you're going to see cracks in there. But I don't see any, so that's good. Now let's go to the other side where we're working. Remember I did this yesterday. Here's what I'm talking about. This is where the sun was shining. There's a little bit itsy bitsy cracks in there. That's why I did this yesterday. Here it's pretty good. Here's another one. It cracks up. Yep, here's another one. See that? Now I don't want to be coming back tomorrow to fix these. That's why I did the cove yesterday. Now I'm over here working again. And what I'm going to do is blend this all in. See, I get this, and I started blending it all in. You see that? This is yesterday's, this is today's. You just get the brush, and I blend it in. Now, as far as the cove goes, that's the stuff that fell. So now, I do the cove again, and it fills in the cracks. See how that works? So we're blending it in to the old one. See that? That's all we're doing. Blending it in. Then when they tar it, there won't be any holes. Just going over my cove again. They're going to ask me, Mike, is this cement going to keep water from getting into the foundation? The answer is no. What it's doing is it's creating a base, so when they put the foundation coating in, it won't leak through the foundation coating. Every type of cement I know, one way or another, absorbs water. So if you're writing a contract out, never put waterproofing, put foundation coating in it. You're going to say, my foundation isn't waterproof. You understand? So that's the end of it. You see I scratched the top with the broom. That's because you're going to stucco over that again, and when you do that it won't show the lines to the blocks. And then we got our all the way around, we put our cove, and then we did this side. Now we did 6.5 batches to do all this of cement. I'm going to do a little example here. This is a regular block. First thing I'm going to do is get some water and wet it. And concrete block sucks the water in. Don't think it doesn't suck the water in. It does. I'm going to get the same cement I had in that job. I'm going to plaster it in there. Just like that. What's that, a rock? Alright. That's it. And just get some brush and brush it like I did. So you can see they got the foundation coating on and they put it up to grade. And the grade is going to go up to there, and I heard they're going to put some kind of membrane over that. But here's what they use for the foundation coating, is this product right there. Now if you remember this block right here, this was done 7 days ago. I just want to make a point. I'm going to pour a little water on it. And if you notice, the water sinks right into the cement. You see how it's moving? So don't let them tell you that cement is waterproof. It's not waterproof. It sinks right into it. Don't matter whether it's Portland or whether it's mortar. Same thing, it's going to sink in. Look at it, it's all gone. It's drying up already. It's sucked in there like a sponge. So we'll talk about that job a little bit. I always try to wet it first. Sometimes in the old days they didn't have the hoses around. The foundation beat in the middle of a farm field and you didn't have the ability to wet it first. But what wetting does is it sticks a little better and it gives you time to scratch it. It gives you time to work it, and the longer the cement stays wet, the better off you are. It takes cement up to 30 days to usually really dry. Now back in the 1960s, we used to do a lot of block cellars, 60s, 70s, 80s, up into the late 90s until they start coming out with the, you know, the pre-made stuff. And we had to do every cellar like that. And cement isn't waterproof. That's one of the big things. People think cement's waterproof. It's not. The water's going to get into there one way or the other. I have a video out, should I use rebar or wire in concrete? And I show what happens. If that concrete gets wet, the water eventually gets into it, gets down to the rebar, rusted apart, and falls apart. Take a look at that video if you don't believe me. I did another video called Concrete Porch with Deck Pans, where I'm actually laying the block, I plaster it, and then at the end I used a foundation coating. So that's one time you'll see me actually do that. So you're going to put like a membrane or something over that to even make it more waterproof. So also I'm on Facebook again once in a while, I guess you could say, and I also have in the description box somewhere where you can buy tools. Thanks for watching. I'm Mike Haduck. Until next video.